And I told him, I was like, you can kiss my you-know-what. Like, I'm in charge of the phone. If you want it, you can wait till you're 18 without limits, because we put restrictions on it so he can't, see things.
I know, but what kind of father tell his son, you can kiss my A, I'm going to do it my way?
Now, I'm upset because, like, I can feel this, I don't know, it's like the ocean just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. It's never like a lake that should be calm.
Peter, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Not Pete, but Peter.
Hey, Jesse, good morning. How are you?
All is well, Peter.
Yeah, thanks for taking the call. Actually, just I wanted to talk a little bit about, my son. He's becoming a teenager right now, and going through that phase in his life where I guess he's starting to test the waters a little bit more, and started venturing out. And teenagers nowadays, I think they want to be addicted to their phones and start texting girls and have these types of outdoor conversations. And I just don't really know the proper way to deal with it without having him hate me. I'll be honest, my initial reaction is, take away his phone, overreact, and I didn't want to do that. So I guess I want to know what would be the best way to approach that with him.
How old is he now?
13.
And have you you or his mother been overreacting with him all his life?
In the fallen state, we have. Lately, since listening to you and waking up, we've been calming down quite a bit, but we have been, yeah.
And have you apologized to him for that?
Yes. Yeah, I have. I actually had a conversation with him, pulled him to the side, and I remember my dad used to do that to me and just apologize when he realized he made a mistake. So, yes, I did that with him.
And have you made his mother apologize to him too?
Yes. Yeah, I did too, actually.
Amazing. Well, tell him not to be angry. But since he's only 13 and you're the father, you're paying the phone bill, right?
Oh, yeah.
Why not just take the phone away until he learns how to deal with it in the right way? Without being angry. Just say, you know what? I don't want you addicted to this phone. I want you to start working on yourself. And I'm going to give you a warning. Give him one more chance to let him know if he doesn't start dealing with it. If he doesn't start dealing with it in a right way, then I'm going to have to take it away from you until you learn how to deal with it. And then he may start to wake up to what you really mean about it.
Yeah, and I did that, actually. I told him, because we put, things on his phone where he can't, see things after a certain hour, screen limits. And he'll come out to us and just say, I don't like that. I see that it angers him, and I told him, I was like, you can kiss my you-know-what. Like, I'm in charge of the phone. If you want it, you can wait till you're 18. But we're gonna do it with limits, or you're not gonna have it. He just sees other kids his age, and their parents seem to not care, and they do whatever they want on their phone.
But that's not
pictures or whatever.
That's not. You told me he can kiss your A.
Yeah, because he wanted to basically have a phone without limits, because we put restrictions on it so he can't see things.
I know, but what kind of father tell his son, you can kiss my A, I'm gonna do it my way? Where's your love in that?
I guess that was anger. You're right. That was anger. That was wrong.
But how you expect him to do the right thing when you're doing it, and his mother's been doing it, but you guys are doing it wrong? How can the child be right when the father and mother is wrong or wrong?
I don't think he can. That's a good point. I don't think he can, because he's seeing the anger coming out of me, and I'm not able to tone it down.
Right. And so, because the phone is not the problem is the anger that he has toward you guys, and then he's using phone in the same way a drug addict use drug, a sex addict use sex. People who attack one another love attacking. It's to try to make himself feel better because he has conflict from the anger that came from you guys.
Yeah, you're right.
And then
Yeah, I didn't see that before.
you went and apologized to him, and you said his mother apologized, and then you turn around and say, "You can kiss my A." What the? What the?
Yeah, I guess that's the black moment in me right there, the flip flop.
It is.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's perfect love that changes the child, not hate. And when a father or even a mother tell a child, "You can kiss my A, I'm going to do it my way anyway," there's no love in that.
You're right.
Even though you say, "I'm sorry," your actions speak louder. It's what coming through you that is affecting him.
So how would I guess that actually brings up the rooted issue right there. So when disciplining him or having conversation with my wife or my daughter or whatever, that anger, I can feel it like bubbling up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anxieties, and you're absolutely right. I already went, forgave my parents, I did all that. I've been seeing a lot more of myself, and I'm noticing this anger is just, I don't know, I guess there's no off switch, right? And I don't think there is, but when I see it, it just gets, I don't know, I think it's just like the thought, of course, comes with the feeling that, like, I feel it in my back, I feel it everywhere, and I'm trying to, like, shake it, and it's, I don't know, it's no other way to describe it other than just like painful.
I understand that. And why do you believe it's you feeling that way?
In the moments, it feels like it's me, and it's not until I calm down. Like, you know, when you have like an anger outburst and then you calm down, you relax, you like realize, like, damn, why did I do all those things? Like, I wouldn't have done it. So, but in those moments, it's hard to recognize whether it's me or not, because it's literally like, I don't know. Like, I've seen, I'm gonna go. I reference the cartoon Spider-Man where he gets like this black suit on him and he just can't control his body anymore, and he loses who he really is. That's what I feel in those moments.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And so you have not been able to understand that those feelings are not, and thoughts and feelings are not you at all?
Not 100%, no.
Yeah. Well, I would, when those thoughts and feelings come, see what you can understand from it. And understanding will cause you to see that it's really not you, has never been you, it can't be you, it's not you. So you could stop overreacting to it. And then when it does happen, you would see that, wow, I feel this pain, I feel this anger, but I know it's not me. And when you start to understand it, you're going to know it. And the understanding of it would get rid of it, because through understanding, you will stop believing that it's you. And you would know that it's something that made a home in you, but it's not you. And then when you deal with your son or anyone, you deal with them in a calm, perfect love attitude. You explain you would see the words would speak through you, and they would speak on your behalf, and you would explain the consequences of his behavior. And in that, he would start to see it, because that would be love coming from the father or the mother. That would be love, and the love would change him. But if you're telling him, "You can kiss my A and I'm going to do what I want to do," all you're doing is driving him deeper into darkness. And now he's angry, and so he's the same identity you feel in your mind and body. It's exactly what he's feeling too. And he thinks it's him. And that's why he's not able to do the right thing, because he believes the wrong thing is him. Just as you believe it, and you're still overreacting to it inside of you. He's dealing with the same spirit you're dealing with.
Is that what, when people say generational curses, isn't really just like my grandfather killed somebody back in the day? It's really the anger that the grandfather passed to the children, to the children, to the children.
100%.
Is that more than right?
That's right. The anger is the curse, not the action.
Right.
It's the spirit of anger. And it goes on from generation to generation to generation until somebody finally say, one generation finally say, you know what? I'm not going to be angry. This is not me. I'm overcoming this. And then
Yeah.
the love starts in that generation. But that is the curse. The anger is the curse. It's of the devil. It's evil.
Yeah. If I could maybe share a little bit more, like for my what I do for my work, I'm not home all the time. I'll be gone maybe a few days out of each week, and I'm not home. And I'll be honest, the thoughts get to me of like, you're not doing enough. You're not present with your kids. You're not taking them to sports, and I'll see photos of them of what they're doing. Part of me wishes I would be there to help or whatever, but I don't know. And I know those thoughts are not mine as well. But in those, what I'm just trying to say is, in those moments, it's just, I guess that's also anger that builds up. So when I am home, I start telling those foul things, and I start acting a fool. Because when I'm not home, I want to be home, and then when I am home, I feel like angry that I am home. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is insane. When now that I'm talking to you about it, it's insane. Because I mean, I don't know. You say it all the time. The reality is, I don't want to be that person. I want to be relaxed, still. That state of peace that you talk about. It's just insane how that voice is so loud that makes me do these things. So I don't know. I have been doing the silent prayer morning and night, and then throughout the day, I'll recognize it and I'll feel the pain, and I'll see it, and then there are times where I can catch it, and then there are other times where it just, I don't know. I guess the thoughts are heavier, and I allow it to get, to a point where then I'm out of control.
Yeah, I do understand that. So you got to watch those thoughts, and because if you have perfect love, whether you were home or not, your kids would be fine as long as you kept protect them from the mother by dealing with them, finding out how did the mother act, how did she treat them when they was away, what happened, right? So they won't be angry at the mother. Yeah. But whether you were home or not, they would know you love them, and the love that they see in you will protect them while you are away. When I was growing up, my father nor my grandfather had to keep, I don't even know if they ever said it. Maybe my father said it later in life, but they didn't have to tell me they loved me. I knew they loved me. And without even thinking about it, I knew that they loved me. And so with that real love, whether you're there or not, because you got to go off to work, you got to provide for your family. That's your God-given duty. But make sure that your wife is doing the right thing by them too. And if she, being patient with them, if she tell them what they can or cannot do, if they don't do it, she has to report it to you, rather than trying to discipline them. Everything will be fine. So whether you went to some sports with them or not, it wouldn't even matter, because they would know that you love them. Because fathers go to sports with children all the time now, because the mother has convinced them to do it that way, the way the woman should be doing it. And they still don't love the children, and kids know it. It's not that. It's the love that's in the heart that causes the kids to stay in the light. So don't let the mind, which is lies, all thoughts are all lies, tell you, oh, you should be going to sports, you should be home, you should be this. That's another setup. That's a lie. So let that pass too, so that you're not feeling guilty. And then when you get home, you feel another guilt by being home, because you see how bad things really are. And it's just one thing to another. If you didn't judge yourself, you'll be fine either way or both ways. So don't ever believe the thoughts about anything. Practical thoughts are the only one you use as a tool, but all other thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
I appreciate that, Jesse. That's something I needed to hear just to get a shake-up again. So thank you.
And most kids, especially the boys and even the girls, They don't care that the parents are not at the game. That's another lie. And the mothers have convinced the children, oh, your problem is you care that your daddy wasn't at your game. He never at your game. That's the mother only personal anger in her mind. She's trying to control the situation. Kids don't care if you're at a game or not. They just want to go there, have fun with their friends, play their sports, and go home. They don't care if you're there or not. If you're there, that's fine. But if you're not, that's fine. You're not affecting children by not being at a stupid game at all, unless they've been convinced by their mother that their problem is that your dad is never at your game. He doesn't care about you. Or they hear the mother argue with you about not being at the game. When I was growing up, parents were showing up at games. What the? And we had so much fun.
Yeah. And nowadays, it's funny. You're surprised at things you hear people yelling on the sideline.
Yeah. And the parents are at the games now fighting like they're worse than the children because it's all about them. It's not even about the child at all. It's the thrill that they get when their kids are out there playing, and if the referee don't call the right whatever they call, the parents get mad because now it's about them, and they pretend that it's about the children.
Yeah.
The kids are not going to go out there and fight unless the parents do it too.
You got a point. You got a point. I'm starting to see more and more as I've been waking up, and of course, I know I'm still on my way and not 100% there, but I've realized more that the entire dynamic of the family really depends on me.
Yeah.
Because however I act, my wife reflects it. She takes it to the kids, and then I've noticed that there are moments where it's just chaos, and then I stop, and I'm like, holy crap, that I started it. I did this action that was a domino effect. And then there are times where the house is at peace, where everybody's just, we're not necessarily getting along. We're just there, and everybody's just, doing their own thing. It's because I was calm, and I allowed it to be in that environment. So I think my challenge is really that anxiety that, I felt from my mother, because she was very, uppity, not uppity in a positive way, but uppity, like, come on, let's get up out the house, let's do this, let's do that, and always moving. And then I felt that increased heart rate,
Yeah.
And then now I feel it, and then there are times where, I don't want to keep going on and take your time, but it really started there. I could really put the blame on my mother because she would do all those things, put pressure on me to do all these things that I kind of didn't really want to do. And then when I look at my dad, he would just, he would always, anything I did, just say, hey, do your best. I believe in you. And then that'd be it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Very simple.
One of the worst things, amongst other, but one of the worst things that has happened to children is that parents work overtime, and especially mothers. They work overtime to make sure the kids stay busy. They gotta play this sport, that sport, this sport, that sport. They gotta be they keep the kids busy, not understanding that they're building the kids' ego and keeping them in hell and causing them to grow in hell, because when you're busy like that, you're not paying attention to yourself. And my parents, I can speak for my parents, and I know other people's parents, they didn't keep the kids busy. They were not always looking for something the kid need to do, right, or should be doing. And when the kid did what they needed to be doing, their schoolwork or homework around the house, if the kid wanted to go play, they'll go out and play. If not, they'll be okay in the house. The light of God was leading the kids on his own without the mother or the father, especially the mother, interfering, trying to make sure they always had something to do. And that's why a lot of parents, the moment the child pop out of the womb, she throw a phone down the kid's mouth so they'll have something to keep them busy, because the parents really doesn't want to have time to deal with them. But they don't let the kids grow up in a natural way that they should be growing up. And it's evil.
Yeah, I agree. And just one last comment is, regarding that. I see that all the time where parents just throw a phone in their kid's face.
Yeah.
And then I remember I recently went to go get glasses, and I talked to the guy optometrist, and he told me that there's a huge increase in little children younger than 10 years old that require bifocals.
Yeah.
They can't see well because their phone is, 3, 4, 5 inches from their face. And then when you ask them to look at the sign down the road, they can't see. So I don't know what's going to happen to drivers in 20 years.
Yeah.
I just think that's going to really damage their eyesight and their brain function, right? Because they're looking for that dopamine rush, that quick hit. And then when the internet's slow, they want to throw the phone in the sky and say, what's broken?
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
And then who do the parents blame that now the child can't see? They blame it on the makers of the internet. Oh,
yeah.
The internet needs to change this, or they need to do that. They never once say, you know what, I need to stop doing this to my children. A child ain't got no business as soon as it pops out of the mother womb be on the phone. But it's the mother and sometimes the father that introduces the phone to the children, and they set the children up to suffer, and they blame it on the makers of the internet. And even when they find out that the children are addicted to the internet, even then they'll blame the internet. They don't say, well, you know what, I should have never done this. I was wrong. I should not have introduced my child or let them spend that much time on the computer. Because the people who make the internet, create internet, they're not in your home. They're not making you make your kids be on the internet all the time. It's the parents that are doing it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just I think it's the more I've been listening to you and the more I've been doing all these things, I've taken a lot of the steps you talk about, and I really reflected on them to see if it made sense. And I'm taking a lot of steps to help my kids find a better way of life. I distance myself from family members that are toxic. Pull the kids out of school. They're at home, and my goal is to help them become the better generation. And I'm seeing that they are not the problem at all. It's
right.
This evil spirit that I feel that makes me feel guilty. I'm not home now. I'm angry that I'm home now. I'm in a rush because I gotta go. Now I'm upset because I can feel this. I don't know. It's like the ocean just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. It's never like a lake that should be calm.
Right.
And then, just that peace.
And once you return to calmness, you're going to not only deal with your kids like that, you're going to deal with everyone because you would have returned to your natural self rather than this not self that you think is you. You are not thoughts, and you're not your feelings, and you're not your body, but you still think at times that you are, and that's why you're overreacting. And you're right, the pain gets so great in the body that it can just feel overwhelming. It'll make you think that is you, but just know that's not me. That's not, yes, I feel this pain in my body, but I know it's not me. And then you're allowing the truth to come in. You allow something else to come in to get rid of the not you, which is of the devil. It's evil.
Yep.
So I would just apologize to your son and just understand he's been set up to be that way. He didn't introduce himself to the phone. The parents did. He didn't make himself angry. The parents did. And he is feeling exactly what the parents are feeling now, overwhelmed. He feel when he's not on the phone, he feel like something is missing. He feel guilt. He feel everything that you're feeling. And it's not him because he became like the parents.
Yeah. Hey, you're absolutely right. I can totally see that spirit in me that just takes over as I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
Or my wife or my daughter or whatever.
Yep.
And then the craziest thing is when you see, well, with me, when I see my kids act just like me, and I take a step back and my eyes open wide, and like, I don't even, I'm lost for words because where did they learn that? Me?
Yeah. Yeah. You become like what you hate.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's very interesting. And I think, and after this, I'll let you go because I know you got more calls to get to. But one of the things that I learned from you, and I've seen this movie, maybe 100 times. You referenced it a long time ago, Revolver.
Yeah.
Where he says, the greatest enemy hides in the last place you look within itself.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's where the devil hides, and then the devil is, he looks nice. He looks like God. He looks like I don't know. He looks like a cheesecake. He looks like getting upset.
Yeah.
He looks like something that's trying to draw you in. Because if the devil were to show you his true evil nature, any wise person would go the other direction.
Yes.
It always looks like a small little, you're going to be late. And then everything else goes downhill from there.
Absolutely, man.
Something like that.
So just understand your son, and then understanding him that he's feeling just what you're feeling, you'll see how to deal with him in the present.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it.
All right, Peter. Good talking to you, man.
Likewise.
All right.
I'll see you soon.
Okay.